Good morning, Unity Church of Raleigh. Good morning. You're looking fabulous out there. Good morning, World Wide Web. Welcome to February. Yes, first Sunday. All right, have your hands. This morning when I rose, yeah, I didn't have no doubt. This morning when I rose, yeah, I didn't have no doubt. All right, this is you, y'all. This morning when I rose, yeah, I didn't have no doubt. I know the Lord will take care of me. I know the Lord will provide for me, and I know He will guide me all the way. Yes, all the way. I say that again. Come on, y'all. This morning when I rose, yeah, I didn't have no doubt. Oh, this morning when I rose, yeah, I didn't have no doubt. This morning when I rose, yeah, I didn't have no doubt. See, I know the Lord will take care of me. I know the Lord will provide for me. I know the Lord will guide me all the way. Yes, all the way. I woke up this morning to a brand new day. Oh, I didn't have no doubt. Yeah, yeah, I woke up this morning to a brand new day. Yeah, I didn't have no doubt. You know I woke up this morning to a brand new day. Yeah, I didn't have no doubt. See, I know the Lord will take care of me. I know the Lord, yeah, will provide for me. I know the Lord will lead and guide me all the way. Yes, all the way. I said I woke up this morning to a brand new day. Yeah, I didn't have no doubt. Oh yeah, I woke up this morning to a bright sunshiny day. Yeah. Oh, you know I woke up this morning to a brand new day, y'all. I didn't have no doubt. See, I know the Lord will take care of me. I know the Lord, yeah, provide for me. I know the Lord will lead and guide me all the way. Yes, all the way. Ooh, this morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. I said this morning when I rose, y'all, I didn't have no doubt. This morning when I rose, yeah, I didn't have no doubt. I felt like walking. I felt like walking. I felt like singing. Oh, I felt like singing. I felt like talking. Yeah, I felt like praying. Felt like praying. Felt like praying. And I know the Lord. I know the Lord, yeah. I know the Lord will lead and guide me all the way. Yes, all the way. Yeah, yeah. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Amen. Stand if you will. Come on and stand. Give yourselves a hand there. That was fun. That was fun celebrating Black History Month. There'll be more of those to come for the month of February. You know you're the face of God. Where are you going, friends? Where are my new friends? Don't leave me now. Don't leave me now, my new friends. Y'all, this is our time. Look at that face next to you and repeat after me. Yeah. You are the face of God. I hold you in my arms. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's stay in this consciousness of prayer. And I invite you to just stay in this energy, because wasn't that a beautiful energy that we just all experienced this morning? Joy filled, just all coming together in such beautiful harmony. So let's stay in that place. Let's stay in this place of joy and being uplifted as we open up to the activity of the presence of God within. I invite you, if you want, to close your eyes. And let's just open to the light of God that is wisdom, guidance, inspiration, strength. The light of God that fills us. And dropping into our heart center, let's open to the activity of the presence of love. That love that knows it is eternal, no beginning and no end. The love that lets us understand oneness, united, uplifted, harmonizing, coming together. And in this light and love of God, just feel this energy filling every part of you now. As the very center of your being. And let this light and love that is the presence of God move out into this sacred space, lifting everyone who is here physically or virtually in this energy, moving out this light and love into our community, into our country, especially in all of those situations that are unfolding, the airline crashes, the fires, all pain and suffering, all beings lifting in this light of love of God. And let this energy move out into our world, especially embracing all of the world leaders in the light of wisdom and inspiration and the love of compassion and empathy, and enveloping our planet Earth. And for this we say, thank you, God, and so it is. Well, good morning, everyone. I loved that opening song. I like big energy. In case anyone hasn't noticed, I just love it. I love looking out and seeing so many different faces, and this is an exciting Sunday. We've got a lot of wonderful things here planned for you. We have a guest speaker, and I know you're going to love the message. And we have our new members. We're introducing, usually this happens at our annual meeting in June, but we have such an enthusiastic group of new members that we can't wait to get them started. So they're gonna come up here and we're gonna acknowledge that. So we're gonna do it twice a year now, and that will be coming up later as well. But I first have something I have to share with everybody. Unfortunately, yesterday, I guess I'll say it's the church. I don't know. I don't think it was me specifically, but something happened, and a text went out to a lot of the members in our church, active and inactive, saying that it was from Reverend Ellen Barron and that I needed your help, and some of you were directed to purchase gift cards for money and everything, and it's a complete scam. They didn't even use my number, so I spent yesterday trying to answer all of the concerns that were either texting me and phoning me and emailing me. Are you in trouble? I'm not, and I don't have a clue how it happened. So all I can say, and that's why I want to put it out here as a big message, don't respond to the text. It is a scam. So we're going to move on from that to what Nisha and the band had mentioned with that wonderful song. Can we have a slide here? This is Black History Month. February is Black History Month. And I want to celebrate it by looking at quotes from some of the important figures from our history with that are people of color.
And I think it's so important right now to remember these messages. So I want to start with Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. And this quote is beautiful. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And I wanted to just mention something about him. You know, we know that he united people and he led these marches and everything. And I think most of us also know that he was a minister. He actually was a preacher in a church, and he had gone to India. He was very influenced by Mahatma Gandhi's whole theology on nonviolence, and that's the language that came from Gandhi, nonviolence. But I wanted to read just a little something that I think ties in with this quote and that ties in with what we here typically do. So this takes place in 1956, and he's just been threatened with a phone call, and he's sitting in his at his kitchen table, and he says he went to prayer. The words I spoke to God that midnight are still vivid in my memory. I am here taking a stand for what I believe is right, but now I am afraid. The people are looking to me for leadership, and if I stand before them without strength and courage, they will falter. I'm at the end of my powers. I have nothing left. I've come to the point where I can't face it alone. At that moment, I experienced the presence of the divine as I had never experienced God before. It seemed as though I could hear the quiet assurance of an inner voice saying, "Stand up for justice, stand up for truth, and God will be at your side forever." Almost at once, my fears began to go. My uncertainty disappeared. I was ready to face anything. We have our yearly theme, which is, with God, all things are possible. And that, my friends, is a demonstration of what that theme actually means. With God, going into prayer is, we had this slogan for a while where we said the answer is always spiritual, going within. And I think this is coming at such a beautiful time to reinforce and remember what we talk about all the time here, which is that what happens to you impacts me, because we are one, because we are interconnected, and that we want to set our intention specifically each Sunday morning to remember this very important fact of our oneness, which is the message that Jesus taught. He taught oneness. The Father and I are one. I am the light and you are the light. Don't hide it under your bushel. And now I want to just invite anybody who's new or here for the first time to raise your hand so we can acknowledge you and say welcome. Oh. No newcomers. We're all old timers here today, and it's good to see that we've got a nice big enthusiastic group here to participate and be a part of today's experience. So let's turn around now to our neighbor, and that could be next to you, behind you, in front of you, and say hello, seeing and holding the Christ in each person, and say it however you want. And I am going to say hello to those of you that are joining us virtually. So good to have you here with us today. Okay, so now I want to turn the service to Nancy, our platform leader, and we'll move along.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice, sunny morning. My name is Nancy Davison, and I'm your platform leader for today. Let's set our intention by affirming our statement of faith, please, together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life and affairs, God the Good. And now we have more music from the AHA band. They're
Good
over
morning,
there
everyone.
taking a nap.
I wrote a chant for clarity
excuse me.
for us today, and I used some Indian chants and put them together with their English translations. So I invite everybody to close your eyes and listen to the Om. Focus now. I am inner peace deep inside. I am divine compassion, divine gratitude. I am Om Gangane Pate Namaha. Om Bhumi Deva Nama. Ami Dewa Hri. Om Namah Shivaya. Amin and Amin. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. That was beautiful. Well, it brought our energy into a place of quiet so that we can listen to our guest speaker. And let's have a slide, please. If we can. There he is. All right. Our guest speaker today is Dr. Tom Ronan Goddard, a psychologist with decades of experience in psychospiritual somatic healing. Through his counseling practice, Integral Becoming, he helps clients engage their body, heart, mind, and spirit in a whole being approach to aliveness. Dr. Tom is passionate about equipping people with the knowledge, tools, and motivation to create the life of their dreams. For nearly 20 years, he has led retreats at Shalom Mountain in New York and beyond, guiding others on their journey of healing and growth. And actually, some of us may know Ronan. He has done some workshops here for us. We had one which was really, we had a nice attendance for that recently on mindfulness, right? Wasn't it mindfulness? And so he is here today, and it was funny because he was going to be doing, he and his partner JP, who's here today also, are going to be doing a series of workshops for us coming up in February. And I just said, oh, let me reach out and see if he wants to talk. And when I did that, he said, oh, I've just been meditating and thinking about this Bible quote that would make such a beautiful talk. And so I said, well, it's perfect, come. So come on up, Ronan, and we can't wait.
Let me turn on my mic here. Testing. Oh, good. In fact, that might be a little too much. There we go. Thank you. Good morning. It's good to see you all. First of all, I want to make sure that you understand I'm going to make no truth claims here today. There can be no truth claims about the true unity of all that is. The Taoists have a wonderful expression that the ultimate Tao that can be named is not the ultimate Tao. So all we can do is gesture at it, this nameless. As close as we can come, I think we heard in your chant this morning, Susan, I am. The great non-dual teacher Rupert Spira says that the only true sentence we can say is I am. Everything else is modified and therefore partial and not quite fully true. So thank you for that chant, and thank you for all the music this morning. How wonderful, wonderful way to start it. I had to gather myself. I had tears running down my face. I had to gather myself just to get up here today. And in a sense, it's all poetry. We're all just using words to gesture at the indescribable, the true unity of the all that is. The meditation that I told Ellen about, just for some reason, reached deep into my childhood of reading the gospel, and I thought of this quote that in the King James Version of the Bible says, if therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. And when I was a kid and first read that, I couldn't really make sense of what it meant to have an eye as single. And so as I was preparing for this talk today, I looked at other translations, other versions, and other versions, this is from Matthew, and other versions like the Revised Standard and all of these generally don't use the word single. They use clear or true or good. And at first I was a little troubled by that dissonance between the translations, and then I realized, no, they are the same thing. A clear vision is a single vision. I got a message this morning as we were driving down Departure Road here, and the first church I see is Vision Church, and I know I'm headed to Unity Church. I thought, oh, this is a Unity Vision Day. And then we pass Lumen, and it's like, oh, right, light. Right, so it's kind of hard to avoid the message of the day, and particularly in a church whose name is, in fact, Unity, the single vision. So I want to come at this from a lot of different perspectives, and then ultimately from one perspective, because that's really all we have. It's a little hard to ignore the message when it comes in so many forms. You are the face of God. This is a song I'm deeply familiar with. I usually put it into a Friday morning of a 5-day retreat I've led over the years, and it's in every retreat I lead now. I play that song every retreat. And we'll come back to that, but again, it's the ability, it speaks, I think, gorgeously of the ability to see the one in the many. I look at your face, I look at your face, I look at your face, and I see the one. So all of the messages on the way in today and after I arrived have been about this. And of course then, Unity Church, I mean your own principles, the principles of this church starts with God is absolute good, everywhere present, everywhere present. That struck me as a kid. When I first learned what the word omnipresent meant, I thought, well, and I was living in Turkey at the time when I came across that word. I thought, here I am in a Muslim country, and God is here too? Well, that goes against some of the teachings that some of my Sunday school teachers have had, so I had to revise my thinking. Everywhere, always present, unity, the single eye. So, but it's not just unity, it's unity of perception. I see unity everywhere I look. If you go into a Bible app online and say, give me all the verses that have to do with seeing clearly, you'll get more than just a few dozen. Conceivably over 100 verses in the Old and New Testaments speak about seeing. It might be, he who has eyes shall see, he who has ears shall hear, or they see, but they have eyes, but they do not see. You can kind of see this conversation throughout the Old and New Testaments, that this is really about how do I see the world. JP and I speak often about our spiritual practice as crafting, curating a worldview, a cosmic view. We're constantly honing how we see ourselves, how we see the world around us, how we see God. And I like Rumi's quote on this. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against love. Well, that fits beautifully with an old buddy of mine who died a few years ago, just shy of 100 years old. His name was Jerry, and he taught the gospel of gogology, he called it. Gogology, the study of your own goggles. He said all of us are wearing goggles, and they might need a little cleaning, right? Or they might be tinted. So if you put on yellow goggles and you go out to a ski slope, all of the snow looks yellow. Is the snow yellow? No. But it looks yellow because of the goggles. And so Jerry, who was a minister and a spiritual leader of a non-denominational retreat center, said our job is to first recognize that we have goggles, that we are looking at the world through imperfect lenses, and to constantly be clarifying them. I see through a glass darkly. Right? Paul invites us to clear how we see. And our goggles are very often outside of our conscious awareness. We're not even aware that we're wearing goggles. I mean, seriously, if you put on yellow goggles and you walk around for a while in yellow goggles, you forget that you're wearing yellow goggles. You're walking through the world, yellow goggles, and your brain kind of translates the world, makes sense of it, even though the world isn't really yellow. So we're not even aware of the goggles we're wearing most of the time. And so part of the call to see with a single eye is to see the goggles through which you're looking at yourself, at your neighbor, at the world, at God. What are the goggles that are preventing me from seeing love incarnate? What are those goggles? One of my teachers, a Hasidic master, puts it this way: love is a perception identification syndrome. And when he first said that to me, I said, Mark, you've gone too far. This is ridiculous. We can't make love a syndrome. But he said, no, check it out. Perception identification. First of all, I perceive you. I perceive, namaste. The God in me sees the God in you is an expression of that notion. I see your divinity. I see your divinity. I look at you and I see your divinity. So in this sense, it's a perception syndrome. But what's the identification? What do we mean by perception identification syndrome? What's that about? Oh, I see the God in you, and that's who we are. I identify as that. And that's something that's often overlooked. Sometimes we forget that it is my own divinity peering out through these eyes at your divinity. And that's kind of a wild thing if you think about it. What would it be to walk through the world, Ellen, as God having an Ellen experience, or Susan, God having a Susan experience? That's who we are if we actually clear our lenses. And we're looking around at other localized consciousness versions of the divine. So to truly love somebody is not just to see the God in them, but to identify with that. To say, there are you, Divine One, and there too am I. And here we are inside this experience together. Science is starting to catch on. I saw a presentation a few years ago by a researcher at Brown named Willoughby Britton. And she has researched meditation and the light and the dark of meditation, and she's gone very, very deep into spiritual traditions, Buddhist, Christian, and otherwise. But she's also a brain scientist. And in this presentation, she showed some images of brain scans when people are prompted to say, me, 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 right after they've meditated. So the brain state in meditation is a unitive state. There's no barrier between me and all that's around me if I get into a deep meditation. And that looks like one thing in a brain scan. And if I sit there, and the same person sits there and just thinks, me, 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 like contracts down into this separate little ball of meanness. Not meanness, but meanness. I'm just me. The brain completely lights up different sections of the brain, and they're more primitive, and it's also where anger, rage, violence live. This illusion of separation is what triggers war. It's what triggers hatred. It's what triggers fear. The great teacher Ramana Maharshi was once asked, "Teacher, what about the others?" And he said, "There are no others." What do you mean? And of course, there's another phrase that says, where there is no other, there is no fear. But when we kind of isolate into this illusion of separation, that's where we find fear, that's where we find hatred, that's where we find disconnection, and that's where we lose peace. The Eastern traditions, those that celebrate and recognize the existence of these energy centers, also known as chakras, up and down our spinal column, all the way up to here, speak of this as the third eye. It's called ajna in Hindu. And it is the seat, according to tradition, it is the seat of dissolving the illusion of separation. It is this eye that sees the unity in all things. And so there are meditations in some of these non-dual traditions specifically designed for the purpose of breaking up and the locked energy of this eye that is buried about an inch and a half back of your forehead, right in here. There's one Kashmir Shaivas meditation I learned a few years ago where you kind of visualize your energy going down one of the channels along your spine and coming up the other channel, and then coming right into your third eye like a needle and piercing it. And it is commonly reported, including by me, that when you do that as instructed, I'm not instructing it here, so it won't necessarily translate, but if you do that, it can release not only energy, but it can release a realization, release us from the prison of me, and open us to the freedom of one, unity. The Kashmir Shaivas also grace us with the notion of recognition. Kashmir Shaivism is a particular brand of Hinduism located in, with its origin, as it sounds like, in the Kashmir province. And there's a text, about 1,000-year-old text, from that tradition called the Recognition Sutra. There's a recent translation about 10 years ago by a scholar named Christopher Wallace. It's kind of an interesting revelation in this for me, a couple of them. One of them is there are 5 functions of the divine. The divine does something that to us looks like creation, but really it's emanation out of the one. Right? It's an emanation out of the one. And then the second function is maintenance. Sometimes things kind of hang around for a while. And then the third function is, it looks to us like destruction, but really it's just reabsorption back into the one. It was the fourth one that woke me up, forgetting. In other words, God forgets. What does God forget? In this creation of the human consciousness, the little isolated consciousness, God, just for almost as a price of becoming human, forgets that God is God. We forget because God chose to forget, just to have the human experience. And then the fifth function is remembering or recognizing. Recognizing, re-knowing, recognizing, knowing what we already know. Deep down, we know that our essence is divine. It's right up there in your, when we walked in this morning. Our essence is divine. And somehow we know that. And we forget. But when we clarify our vision, clean off our goggles, we can recognize ourselves as divine, each other as divine, and all of creation as divine. There's a wonderful metaphor that is beautifully articulated by a teacher named Rupert Spira, an English non-dual teacher, who says it's kind of like this. He's far more eloquent than I, but I'll do my best Rupert Spira impression. Imagine that Mary is asleep and having a dream, and in her dream, she becomes Jane, which is her dreamed character. Mary's in Oxford, sleeping. Ellen, the dreamed character, or Jane, the dreamed character, is in Cambridge, walking through Cambridge. And Jane is having all of these experiences in Mary's dream world. It's all one consciousness that's creating that dream. The building over there, that human walking down the sidewalk on the other side of the street from Jane in this dream. It's all, it looks to Jane, the dreamed character, like separate things. Like there's a building and there's somebody on the sidewalk over there and there's a weird bird flying at me, and you know how dreams are, all sorts of things are happening. But if we drill down to the truth of that dream, it's all Mary's consciousness. It's all one consciousness. The dreamed character, Jane, that person walking down the street, that bird flying, that building, it's all Mary's consciousness, one consciousness. That has forgotten. Jane has forgotten. Unless Mary is lucid dreaming and somehow wakes up to the remembering, that Jane is Mary, Jane is baffled. Oh, it looks separate to me. That's a bird over there, and I'm over here. Jane forgets. She doesn't see clearly until she wakes up into a lucid dream. And if Jane starts to remember, oh, I'm a dreamed character, then all of a sudden she realizes all of this is one consciousness within Mary. And Spira tells us that that's actually a pretty good metaphor for our experience. We are all a product of this one consciousness, walking through, generally confused and baffled, and dazed and confused, as the Led Zeppelin would sing. We're all kind of dazed and confused, forgetting that we're in Mary's dream because we're not seeing clearly. Yeah. Now, I think it's next Saturday, I'm coming back here to talk about something called unique self. And it's worth touching on unique self. But my experience, my lived experience, is that I am unique and different. That this manifestation is special. So how can this be? If we are just one God, looking through a bunch of different eyeballs here, then what is so special about me? And in fact, there are all sorts of faiths that say, well, you're not. They explicitly say, well, you're not special. Well, I don't buy it, so I don't buy it. I think you're special. I think I'm special. So how can we discern the specialness that comes from our wounds, you know, the screwed up childhood I had, or that girl in college who dumped me after the first date, or, you know, whatever it was? Those have shaped me, some for the better, some for the worse, for whatever. How do we distinguish the kind of divine uniqueness? If I am special, there must be some sort of divine uniqueness running through me from this wounded uniqueness. It's a little tricky. If I'm going to claim that I'm special, am I going to claim that I'm special at your expense or at your expense? How can I claim that I'm special if you're God and you're God, having a unique human experience? The trick, actually, as it turns out, is to always remember that I am one. That we go through a process, those of us who teach unique self believe that we humans must go through a process of waking up from the illusion of separation. I'm a separate self. Everything around me is outside of me. I'm a separate self. And then we move to a next stage, which we might call true self, where I awaken to the realization that, oh, I am not separate from God, and I am not separate from you, and I'm not separate from the world. Great. Am I special? And then move to I am a unique manifestation of the one. If we don't go through this step, our specialness claim is rooted in the delusion that I'm a separate, skin-encrusted ego that has nothing to do with you. But if I wake up to the unity of all that is, including me, including you, and sniff around and see, well, what divine uniqueness do I have that's coming through me, in me, and as me? Then I can walk through the world as God's unique messenger of God's love. Over here, I'm Ronan's unique messenger of Ronan's needs. Here, I might get lost and think I'm not all that special, so it doesn't matter what I do. Here, I'm tapped into this and into my uniqueness as a unique expression, and a unique focus of God's consciousness. Uniquely here to love in the ways that only I can love. I've got unique gifts. I've got unique perspective. I've seen things you haven't. You've seen things I haven't. I've got unique opportunities that only I have, that are not a product of these wounds over here that created this defensive, crouched self against the world, but are an emanation of why I came in the first place over here, having gone through this realization that is at the core of this church's principles. God is everywhere, there's only one, and God operates through me uniquely. So that's the call to spiritual practice, the call to practice. I love in Unity Church the expression, understanding ain't the whole story. In fact, it doesn't do any of it, truth be told. We all can benefit from a good worldview, right? So studying can help us with that. But unless we actually practice, unless we actually take off the goggles, clean them off, put them back on, kind of check them out. Well, even clean, there's still a little distortion there. Well, at least I know I've got some distortion. And what is that practice? Well, each of us needs to craft our own practice about how to do that. Each of us has a unique set of goggles, and we're growing new goggles all the time. But it's meditation, it's prayer, it's service, it's embodied engagement in the life experience of living as a divine expression of the One, responding to my unique obligations in my lived experience. And when we get to this, there's no separation between the sacred and the ordinary. There's no separation between me and you. There's no separation between, frankly, work and play. It's all one. It's all me moving through the world as God's expression of love, constantly asking, what's the most loving thing I can do in this moment? I want to close with just a short meditation before we go into music, just a short meditation. And if you're willing, I invite you to kind of sit up straight and relax, eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. And we'll do this very quickly. This could take an hour or it could take 2 minutes. We'll do the 2-minute version so we can get to the music. Notice, I notice my perceptions. I notice what my skin is touching. I notice the temperature. I notice the sounds, Ronan's voice and other sounds in this room. If I can see something, I notice the perceptions of my eyes. Who's noticing? Just ask that question. Who's noticing? I notice my perceptions. Who's noticing? I notice my emotions. I notice they're coming and going. Who's noticing? If I'm out here, if I'm back here watching them, those are not me. These are just emotions. I sit here, I notice thoughts. Thoughts coming into my awareness, thoughts moving out of my awareness. I am not these thoughts. Well, then who's noticing these thoughts? I'm noticing all of these perceptions, feelings, and thoughts. Like a big cloud around me. I can feel things. I notice these perceptions. I notice these emotions coming and going. I notice these thoughts coming and going. Who is it that is noticing? What is it that is noticing if these are not me? what we may find is that the answer to that question is the same as the answer of the burning bush to Moses. I am. Who are you? I am. And to wake up to that fundamental truth, I am, is to see with a single eye. Let's listen to some music.
Okay, let's take a deep breath in now and return. Feel your body, move a little, open your eyes when you're ready, and let's come back to this room, to this time and this space. Wasn't that beautiful? And I have to tell you, thank you so much, Ronan, for that wonderful, wonderful message. And I love when synchronicity just flows so perfectly. I had asked we do this chant for the month of February. We have a chant we're going to be doing each month. And I said, I really want to focus on the I am. And that came out of our talk last Sunday on who are we, what are we here to be? And so Ronan told us very clearly how to be that from that higher consciousness I am. So what a beautiful marriage of the words and the music, wasn't it? Okay, so I'm coming back down to earth now and ready to move into the next part of our service, which is bringing our usher up, because we get to practice another principle here, and it is the principle of giving and receiving. And we know that, just like Ronan so beautifully demonstrated, that when we wake up and we live from our spiritual nature, this is the principle that does the same, that has the same idea, that as we open and give, as we release, it allows the space for us to receive. And so I invite you to practice this principle together right now by taking your donations. And those of you that are joining us virtually, you can participate as well by either sending a check in the mail, going to our website and pressing the PayPal button, or a credit card, however you want to do it. Or here's an easy way to not have to think about it anymore. Sign up in the office for our 3G giving plan. That means you'll just make a commitment once a month with a credit card, and you'll say how much and when you want it to be done automatically. Saves you from remembering if you have to have a check with you or not. So take our love offerings out in our hands right now and let us bless them with our affirmation. Divine love flowing, all of us together, divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have,
and
all that I give and receive.
And there's usually a slide for that. Thank you very much. No worries. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. While I'm on this sometimes tedious journey, Lord. Walk with me,
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. That was wonderful. Loved it. Nisha and the band. Okay, walk with me. Let us now bless these love offerings that were so freely given. Join me and close your eyes, and let's just drop into that place of gratitude. Gratitude for all of our good. Gratitude for the abundance that is flowing so freely right here, right now, in this sacred space. The abundance of tithing, the abundance of love, the abundance of support and joy, the abundance of the divine that we are. And so we say, thank you, God, and so it is. Okay. Okay. So see, I'm stepping away from here because we have something very special to do together today and to share with you. So I want to start introducing, and Stephen's doing double duty up there, and he's first on our list. We can start with somebody else, but if you could put up the new members, Steve, the slide. Okay. So it's really very exciting, I think, to be in a church. And, you know, we've had an interesting journey. I'm here 4.5 years now, which seems a little bit surprising when I say that number myself. And I came in 2020 when it was shut down, when we had COVID, and we were not even here in person. And I was doing my talks. I started trying to do them at home, but the dog was participating. So I would come here instead, and I would be talking to the empty chairs. So 4.5 years later, to be here and to see this room filled up and to have the opportunity to have sat in a new members class with 8 new members is real. 8 new members that are joining right now. And I want to say something about that because we have a lot of new members. Not everybody has decided to step in and actually join, but we have a lot of new a lot of new people this last year or so that are coming to the classes all the time. In fact, some of them have come via the class, and that not only are here today, but are already jumping in with different volunteer aspects of the church. So there's an enthusiasm. Do you feel the shift in here? Because I do. There's a new energy, a new excitement, and we're in 2025 when we know with God all things are possible. So we are stepping into this possibility together right now. And I want us to acknowledge our new members, so we're going to start by bringing them up on the stage here, and then we have a covenant that we'll all stand and read together. That's another slide. So let's start by bringing Stephen Freed up. Welcome, Stephen. Stephen's one of those enthusiastic participants. I told you he was doing 2 jobs up there this morning. And then we have Deborah Barrio. Come on up, Deborah. Tara Bertino. Charles Nichols. Deborah McEnany. Jan McKenzie, is she here with us today? Okay, she was in the class. And we have Rachel Fitch. Oh, my goodness. Where are you, Simone? Come on up. Did I forget your name? Oh. I so apologize. And you were participating in both. Yes, you are unique and exceptional, and we are so blessed to have you. And I want to walk down here and just welcome each one. Welcome, Deborah. Welcome, Charles. Welcome, Stephen. Deborah. Tara. Rachel. Okay. Okay, so let us go to our next slide because I'd like everybody to stand up. We have this covenant that we always do when we renew our membership commitment, and that I'd like everybody to say, including our newcomers today. So let's just start doing it together. I, as a member of Unity Church of Raleigh, will endeavor to live in accord with the Christ principles of love and truth as taught by Unity, and further the work of this ministry through active interest, love, and support. I will make my spiritual unfoldment and relationship with God a priority in my life, and understand that God shall render an equivalent for this dedication. In peace, mind, health of body, wisdom, understanding, love, life, and abundant supply. I will do my part to support the church's mission and vision with my time, talent, and treasure. Through membership in this church, I honor the Spirit in me and the Spirit at work through Unity Church of Raleigh. Okay, let's clap our hands. Let's celebrate. Welcome. Welcome, all of you, and thank you. Thank you for joining in this. You know, one of the things that came up in our new members class is we were talking about, we went around the room, and you can ask them this yourself if you want later, but I said, 2 questions without a history, full life history. When did you start being interested in Unity principles, and what drew you to them? And what specifically made you want to be a part of this church? And the answers were varied, obviously, with the first question, but the second question, there was a uniform answer, and it was really the love, the sense of family, the message of oneness, the message that we are love, unconditional love, that we are a light in the world. And out of that, we said that this is how we see ourselves right now. We see ourselves being this beacon of light and love into our community and into the world that is so needed in this day and time. And that was really what excited us in that meeting. And I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's a wonderful representation, like Ronan was talking about, of what unity is about, even within our name. So thank you all, and I look forward to doing lots of things with you all. Okay, so I'm going to bring up Nancy's going to tell us what's going on. We're going to finish up with announcements.
Thank you to Rowan for the wonderful message and the warm thoughts that are so consistent with where we are and reminding of us our church family. That's what I feel with this congregation, that it isn't the church, it's not the minister, not that the minister doesn't help a lot, but this group of people has been together through thick and thin for many years, changing locations, changing ministers, and we're still here. And that's what I love about you all. Another big thing going on today, it's Birthday Sunday. Who has a birthday in February?
February birthdays.
Bound to be somebody. If they're not here, they're out there.
Shawnee's just left. There's one in the back there.
All righty.
All right.
Good enough. Let's sing.
And next week is the big week for Susan.
Her birthday
Share,
this
do
month.
share, Susan.
Her
next
birthday's this
weekend.
month.
The 15th is my anniversary.
Oh, perfect.
The 14th is Valentine's, and the 19th is my birthday.
Woohoo! This is
There
our
we go.
mom.
Let's sing.
Happy birthday.
I'm gonna sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, February babies. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Indeed. And be sure to join us after the service for birthday cake and potluck and time to converse and talk to each other. So we look forward to that time each Sunday. Also, to find out what's going in the church, we'll outline it today, but you can always go to our website, unitychurchofraleigh.com, to get details and links to Zoom meetings and that sort of thing. We're still making donations to Hurricane Helene relief. It's our core project for this month, so you can still bring things in. There's a list of items that we need in the website, and there's also a list out on the bulletin board so you can see the things that we need to help those folks out there. Reverend Ellen's metaphysics class, using the book Heart-Centered Metaphysics, will be meeting on Tuesdays both at noon, either Zoom or here, or in the evening on Zoom only. Hearts in Unity, lasagna dinner. The date has changed to the 22nd, and our leaders for that are going to come up and tell us about it. This is Betty and Ken Sari.
Hi, guys. I want to welcome, what? Oh, don't eat the mic. Okay, I want to welcome you all to our lasagna dinner for the people who have never attended. This is actually our 9th annual event. Cool. And what we do for the lasagna dinner is we actually have people in the congregation that make lasagna, and then we have a contest to decide, and actually Greg is actually our person who decides who has the best lasagna. So
Be nice to them. Make it good, make it hot.
So we want to invite you on the 22nd. We have sign-up sheets for people to sign up and to volunteer to do things for the event. We also have raffle items that we're asking people for, which Ken is actually the person that does a lot of the stuff, the raffle. So you want to talk about the raffle items?
Yeah, the raffle items, that's my job. People contribute as part of the unity, as part of the event. People in the congregation will donate gifts, like they have to be a new gift or something you made, like a nice Afghan or a cutting board, a custom cutting board or a lamp, or a service that you offer, like a massage or a meditation service that you might have. And I line them up on the table, on tables in front of the altar here, and I put a bag in front of each one. And if you're interested in winning one of those, what you do is you buy a raffle ticket and you stick it in one of the bags, or you buy a couple and put it in different bags. And then at the end of the night, I have to go through and pick one of those, or actually my daughter will pick one of those, and she reads it, and you win that prize. And it's been really a lot of fun over the years that we've done this. We've had many awesome gifts, like gift certificates and Andy's famous cutting boards and lamps that he makes, and it's been a lot of fun.
One more thing, this year we're going to actually have a DJ with some trivia and stuff, so that's always actually adds a lot more fun to the event. So please sign up to the back. You can buy your tickets. They're $20, and it's on the 22nd. Looking forward to seeing you all, of February.
Wear your dancing shoes, because we usually end up doing some dancing before the evening is out. It's always a fun event. So the other things that are going up, the prayer ministry class is meeting on Thursday, the 6th, which is this coming Thursday evening at 7 to 8 o'clock, and that's a Zoom-only class. Everyone is welcome to that. You don't have to be necessarily a member of the prayer team. If you're just curious, we're going to be talking about prosperity and how we pray for prosperity to help each other get the best things we can have in life. And the second Sunday, which is next Sunday, Reverend Annie Nelson will be teaching a class on the powers. Ellen is focusing on those again this month, or this year, and she will be teaching a class starting at 12 o'clock. So plan for that next week. Classes at the Holistic Wellness Center. I didn't mention Dr. Goddard is also teaching a class next Saturday morning, and we look forward to that. There is another class on Saturday morning as well in a different place in the building. Open to Love, Healing the Heart Chakra by Diane Stokey, and that'll be going on next Saturday morning too. Yoga classes are each Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, $10 per class. A nice chance to center your mind and body. Caregiver Support Group. This month it's only going to be meeting once, so the dates up there are not correct. It's going to be on the 16th of February, so we're just having one meeting in February. And it's for people that are caregiving for someone, or if you're caregiving for yourself and you feel like you need some support, this is a wonderful group, and we have some great conversations, so I hope you'll feel free to join us. Rachel and Pat Anderson lead that group for us. If you have any additional questions about things in the Wellness Center, unityholisticwellnesscenter.org is where you'll find those answers. And after the closing today, stay together in our prayer circle, our healing circle, before we go and enjoy our potluck. Thank you all for being here. Ellen?
Thank you, Nancy. I have one other project to mention for the month of February. I have located a group to share our fuzzies with. We bring fuzzies every Sunday. We bring fuzzies, hand size, palm size, not too big, for children in homeless shelters. I have found a group that a woman, Myra's Angels, we type to them for the month. She prepares goodie bags for children who are in shelters or foster care situations. And so we are going to have a project in the month of February to bring a fuzzy, place it in the seat. We will bless them. And then we will bag them up and send them on their way to bless a child. For the month of February. Yay! Yes, I was saying hand size, not too big, something, around this size to fit in your hand or, okay?
Thank you, Nisha. That's wonderful. And again, for those of you that resonated with what we were hearing today by Ronan, his workshop, we have 2 workshops, so isn't this exciting? Yeah. Even our wellness center, we have 2 workshops because we have a lot of space here that will be taking place, and you can come and hear more about your unique self. Your unique self. Okay. So let us now do our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us.
The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us.
The love of God enfolds us.
The power of God protects us.
The power of God protects us.
And the presence of God watches over us.
The presence of God watches over us.
Wherever we are, God is.
Wherever we are, God is.
And all is well.
And all is well.
And now let's stand and sing our peace song.
Yes,
invite you as you go out from here today to remember that we have the choice to look at with our perspective if we are in our humanness, our meanness, if we are in our true self, and if we're ready to step into our divine expression. And so it is, amen.
Amen. Namaste.
Let's now stay in our circle. We finish with a prayer healing circle. And so I invite you. Okay, so let's stand in our circle. And unity was founded on prayer. And we like to end our service with a prayer circle so that, and we have prayer chaplains here today wearing a purple stole. I see Melanie. Annie's usually got one on. Do you have your stole on today? And Nisha, Peggy, you. So those, raise your hands, please, so that everybody can see, because we've got a big group here. And these prayer chaplains are here to help you to remember the divine idea behind the challenge. You know, we know that prayer isn't about fixing or changing. It's about the need turns us to the presence of God. And therein lies the answer, in the still small voice. And so let us open right now to that consciousness as we close our eyes. And we just remember that where two or three are gathered, there am I. That right here and right now is emerging a consciousness of our oneness, our interconnectedness, a consciousness of the power of the presence of God. The power to unite, the power to heal, the power to bring us together, the power to transform, the power to be the change we want to see in this world and in ourselves. And in this space that we have just created, let's put the name or the situation that we want lifted to a higher perspective, a higher consciousness, the consciousness of the presence of God. And we can do that verbally or silently. Just do it now. And so it is, amen. Okay, so join us for our potluck. Sign up for the Hearts in Unity, and thank you so much for coming.